My name is Emily Parker. I'm 31 years old. If someone had told me that one doctor's sentence would destroy my marriage, I would have laughed because my husband loved me, or at least that's what I believed. But sometimes the people we trust the most break us the fastest. If you're listening to my story, and please don't judge anyone too early, because the truth always has two sides, and sometimes one misunderstanding can change an entire lifetime. It all started on March 12th. It was supposed to be one of the happiest days of our lives. For almost 5 years, my husband Daniel and I had been trying to have a baby. Every month we prayed, every month we hoped, every month our hearts broke a little more, but we never gave up. Daniel always held my hand and said, "One day we'll hear tiny footsteps in this house." I believed him. That morning, we had an appointment with a fertility specialist. Daniel wanted to come with me, but an emergency meeting at work changed everything. "I'm sorry, Em. I'll finish as fast as I can. You call me the moment you come out." He kissed my forehead. "I know today will bring good news." I smiled. "I hope so." As I walked into the hospital, I had no idea. My entire life was about to change. After several tests, the doctor called me into his office. He looked serious, far too serious. He folded his hands together. "Mrs. Parker, I'm afraid the results aren't what we expected." My heart began pounding. I whispered, "Please, just tell me." The doctor sighed. "The problem isn't yours." I looked at him, confused. "What do you mean?" He slowly opened the report. "According to these results, your husband cannot become a biological father." For a moment, I couldn't hear anything. The room became completely silent. "No, there must be some mistake." The doctor gently shook his head. "We repeated the tests. The results are the same." Tears filled my eyes. "But he has no idea." The doctor nodded. "I understand." Then he said something that completely shocked me. "And if having a child is your greatest dream, you'll have to make a very difficult decision." I looked at him. "What decision?" He took a deep breath. "If you truly want to become a mother, you may have to consider building your future with someone else." I froze. My tears stopped instantly. "What?" "I would never leave my husband because of this." The doctor remained calm. "I'm only telling you what many couples choose, but the decision is yours." I stood up immediately. "No, I didn't marry him because he could give me a child. I married him because I love him." The doctor smiled softly. "I hope he realizes how lucky he is." I walked out of the hospital, holding the medical report tightly. I didn't know how to tell Daniel, not because I blamed him, but because I knew those words would destroy him. As I reached the parking lot, my phone rang. It was Daniel. His voice sounded excited. "So, what did the doctor say?" I couldn't answer. I simply whispered, "I need to see you. I'm coming home." There was a long silence, then he quietly said, "Okay, I'll be waiting." Little did I know, someone else had already seen my medical file, and before I even reached home, a lie had already begun spreading, a lie that would make Daniel believe I had betrayed him. I drove home, with tears running down my face. I wasn't crying because Daniel couldn't become a father. I was crying because I knew how much becoming a father meant to him. Every birthday, he would smile and say, "Maybe next year." Every Christmas, he bought one tiny baby ornament, hoping we'd finally use it. He had dreamed about holding our child long before we even got married. How was I supposed to destroy that dream? And with a single sentence, when I finally reached home, Daniel was already waiting outside. The moment he saw my face, his smile disappeared. He rushed toward me. "Emily, what happened?" I couldn't speak. I simply handed him the medical report. He looked at it, then back at me. His hands started shaking. He slowly opened the envelope. For several seconds, he said nothing. His eyes moved across every page. Suddenly, he looked completely lost. "No, this can't be right. They mixed up the reports." I gently held his hand. I asked the doctor the same thing. They repeated every test. Daniel looked away. For the first time, I saw tears in his eyes. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Adam. I ruined your life. I immediately hugged him. No, don't ever say that. You didn't ruin anything. We're together. That's enough. He hugged me tightly, but I could feel him trembling. A few minutes later, I finally told him everything, even the doctor's cruel suggestion. Daniel suddenly froze. What did he say? I hesitated. He said, if I wanted a baby, I should marry someone else. Daniel slowly stepped backward. His face turned pale. What? I quickly grabbed his arm. I told him no. I told him I'd never leave you. But Daniel wasn't listening anymore. He sat down quietly and staring at the floor. I always wondered why it wasn't happening. I blamed myself. But hearing it like this, it feels like someone ripped my heart out. I knelt beside him. Listen to me. We'll adopt. We'll become foster parents. We'll find another way. I chose you, not your DNA. He looked at me with tears streaming down his face. You really mean that? I smiled. Every single word. For the first time that day, he smiled back, a small, broken smile. I thought the worst was over. I was wrong, because the next morning, Daniel received an anonymous envelope. Inside was a photograph of me leaving the fertility clinic. Across the picture, someone had written in red ink, "She deserves a real father for her future child." There wasn't a name. There wasn't an address, but whoever sent it wanted one thing: to destroy our marriage, and they were just getting started. 2 weeks later, I stood outside the family court, holding my growing baby bump with one hand, and the divorce papers with the other. I had barely slept, not because I was afraid of losing my marriage, but because I still couldn't understand how the man who once promised to trust me forever never gave me 5 minutes to explain. When I walked into the courtroom, Ethan was already there. He never looked at me. Not once. His lawyer placed several printed photographs on the judge's desk. Pictures taken from outside Jason's house. One photo showed me entering the guest room. Another showed the bedroom door closed. A third showed Ethan standing outside the room. His lawyer spoke confidently. Your Honor, my client personally witnessed his wife inside a locked room with another man. There is no trust left in this marriage. Every word felt like another knife in my heart. The judge turned toward me. Mrs. Carter? Would you like to respond? I slowly stood up. Yes, Your Honor. I was never alone with another man for the reason they're suggesting. My cousin had just watched his mother collapse. He was completely devastated. I only entered the room to calm him down because dozens of relatives were surrounding him. There was nothing inappropriate. The courtroom became silent. Ethan finally looked at me. For a split second, I thought he might believe me. Instead, he shook his head. I saw enough. I don't need another excuse. Those words hurt more than the divorce itself. Then something unexpected happened. Jason suddenly walked into the courtroom. Everyone turned toward him. His face looked exhausted. He walked directly to the witness stand. I need to tell the truth. The judge nodded. Jason took a deep breath. Everything Olivia said is true. My mother collapsed that afternoon. I was crying. She came only to help me. We were inside that room for less than 5 minutes. There was absolutely nothing between us. Ethan's lawyer immediately interrupted. He's her cousin. Of course he'll defend her. Jason looked straight at Ethan. I don't care if you believe me, but there's something else. His voice became stronger. The entire hallway has CCTV cameras. I told the family to save the footage. It recorded everything. The entire courtroom became silent. Even Ethan's lawyer stopped writing. Ethan slowly raised his head. CCTV? Jason nodded. Yes, it recorded every second. You'll see exactly why she entered that room, and exactly how quickly she came back out. For the very first time, I saw uncertainty in Ethan's eyes, but I still didn't know that someone had already tried to make that CCTV footage disappear. And when we found out who, everyone in that courtroom was left speechless. The courtroom fell completely silent. Everyone was staring at Jason. Even the judge leaned forward. CCTV footage, Jason nodded. Yes, Your Honor. The hallway camera recorded everything. I requested a copy 2 days after the incident, but when I went back, The footage had disappeared. A wave of whispers spread across the courtroom. The judge frowned. Disappeared? Jason slowly pulled out his phone. I thought it was strange. So before I requested the footage, I recorded the security monitor with my own phone. Every head in the courtroom turned toward him. Ethan's expression changed. His confidence was slowly disappearing. The judge looked at the bailiff. Play the video. Jason connected his phone to the courtroom screen. My heart was beating so fast I could barely breathe. The video started. There I was, running into Jason's house, exactly as I remembered. A timestamp appeared in the corner, 12:47 p.m. Seconds later, Jason opened the guest room door. I walked inside. The door closed. The courtroom became completely silent. Everyone kept watching. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Then the door opened again. I walked out first. Jason followed a few seconds later. His eyes were swollen from crying. He hugged his aunt. Then both of us rushed outside and toward the hospital. That was it. Nothing else. Nothing inappropriate. Nothing even close. The entire courtroom froze. Ethan stared at the screen, unable to say a single word. Then Jason paused the video. There's something else. He zoomed in on the timestamp. Just 30 seconds after I left, another man appeared on the screen. He walked directly to the security office. The judge narrowed his eyes. Who is that? Jason answered quietly. The building manager. He deleted the original CCTV file. Everyone gasped. The judge immediately asked, why would he do that? Jason slowly turned and looked straight at Ethan. Because he was paid to? For the first time, I saw fear in Ethan's eyes, real fear. His lawyer immediately stood up. Objection! That's speculation. Jason calmly reached into his jacket. I knew you'd say that. So I brought proof. He placed a small envelope on the judge's desk. Inside was a bank transfer receipt, a payment, made the same afternoon from Ethan's personal account to the building manager. The courtroom exploded with whispers. Even the judge looked stunned. I looked at Ethan. His face had turned completely white, but what happened next was something none of us expected, because the building manager himself walked into the courtroom, and the first words out of his mouth changed everything. The courtroom doors slowly opened, every head turned. The building manager walked inside, his hands were trembling. He looked at the judge, then at Ethan, before lowering his head. The judge spoke first. State your name. He did. Then came the question that changed everything. Did you delete the original CCTV footage? For several long seconds, he said nothing. The courtroom was so quiet, you could hear people breathing. Finally, he whispered, yes. A wave of shock spread through the room. Ethan suddenly stood up. He's lying. I've never met this man. The building manager slowly turned toward him. You did. And I wish I never had. The judge raised his hand. Explain. The manager took a deep breath. 2 days after the incident, Mr. Ethan Carter came to my office. He said the footage could ruin his future. He offered me money. He only wanted one thing: the CCTV file deleted forever. My heart stopped. I looked at Ethan. He couldn't even look me in the eyes anymore. The manager continued. I refused at first. But then he doubled the amount. I made the biggest mistake of my life. He reached into his pocket. I've regretted it every single day. He handed the judge a small USB drive. I secretly saved a backup. I couldn't live with what I'd done. The judge immediately asked the technician to play it. The entire courtroom watched. This time, the video showed everything. Jason received the phone call about his mother. I arrived only minutes later. Jason was crying uncontrollably. I comforted him. Nothing more, nothing less. 3 minutes later, we both rushed out of the room together. Then the video showed something nobody expected outside the house. Ethan had already arrived. He never came inside. He never asked a single question. He watched us from the hallway, turned around, and left without even trying to hear the truth. The judge looked directly at Ethan. So, you never actually asked your wife what happened? Ethan's lips trembled. No. The judge's voice became firm. You destroyed your marriage based on your own assumption. Those words hit him harder than anything else. He slowly sat down, holding his head in his hands. For the first time since our marriage ended, I saw tears in his eyes. But what he said next was something I never thought I would hear. He stood up, looked directly at me, and said, "Olivia, I made the biggest mistake of my life." The courtroom became completely silent. The courtroom fell silent. Ethan stood frozen, unable to look me in the eyes. For the first time, his confidence was gone. Only regret remained. He slowly walked toward me. "Olivia, I'm sorry. I destroyed our marriage because I refused to trust you. I never gave you the chance to explain. I believed my own assumptions." Tears rolled down his face. I would do anything to change that day. I looked at him quietly. Months ago, those words would have meant everything. Today, they only reminded me of everything I had lost. I gently placed my hand on my baby bump. Our child deserves love, but love cannot survive without trust. The judge looked at me. "Mrs. Carter, would you like to say something?" I nodded. "When I needed you the most, you walked away. I called you, and I begged you, but you never listened. You chose one moment over 3 years of marriage." Ethan lowered his head. "I know. I'll regret it forever." Before he could continue, my mother-in-law stood up. She slowly walked toward me. Her eyes were filled with tears. "Olivia, I'm sorry. I judged you without knowing the truth. I failed you." She held my hands tightly. "I should have protected you." I hugged her, not because the pain had disappeared, but because carrying hate was becoming too heavy. Then she turned toward Ethan. "You didn't lose your wife because of another man. You lost her because you didn't trust her." The courtroom became completely silent. Ethan suddenly dropped to his knees. "Please, give me one more chance. I'll spend the rest of my life making this right." I closed my eyes. Every memory came rushing back. Our wedding, our dreams, the divorce papers, the lonely nights. Then I looked at him. "I forgive you." Hope appeared on his face, but I continued. "Forgiveness isn't the same as trust. Some hearts heal, but some scars never disappear." He quietly nodded. "I understand." The judge smiled gently. "This court cannot decide your future. Only you can." I took one last look at Ethan. "I truly hope you become the father our child deserves. But whether you become my husband again, that's a chapter only time can write." I turned around and walked toward the courtroom doors. I never looked back, because sometimes the greatest act of love is finally choosing yourself. Tell me honestly, if you were Olivia, would you give Ethan a second chance?